Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut. It is finally match day for Team India. India take on Zimbabwe today here in Chennai. And there are a lot of things to talk about here, especially when we talk about the playing 11. Last night, I did a video explaining how there could be a possibility of Sanju Samson coming in for Rinku Singh. If you haven't watched that video, I basically said that because Rinku Singh has been through so much in the past 48 hours, there could be a possibility that the management can go ahead and say, take things easy, Rinku. We're going to let someone else play. And it sort of ends up solving a lot of problems because Sanju Samson coming, if he's into the team, slotted into the team, you can see Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma open the innings, Ishan at number 3, Surya Kumar Yadav and Tilak at number 5, which solves your main problem of having 3 left-handers at the top. This is a problem that the oppositions have been able to unnerve India with. They've been able to put on off spinners from the very get-go and get the openers out cheaply. So that's a huge concern. And now looking at India's net run rate and how the entire table is setting up, India will want to win today's match and win by a huge margin just to keep themselves safe. Because if today in the afternoon game, West Indies versus New Zealand, at this point, it is Oh yes, it's West Indies versus South Africa, sorry. New Zealand versus Sri Lanka happened last night, where of course Sri Lanka lost and are now kicked out of the tournament. But today, if West Indies beat South Africa, then things get very, very difficult for for the Indian team to sort of go ahead and qualify. But we will talk about that a little bit later. Now that we've spoken about Rinku Singh, and there could be a possibility, and this is how I see it. If New Zealand ends up beating West Indies, I think there will be a few changes made in the playing 11. Or if West Indies beat New Zealand, in which case it becomes really important for India to win by a good margin tonight, then they might just stick with the same team. It is quite confusing how things are panning out right now. But at the same time, you also have to look at the scenario when it comes to Sri Lanka versus Pakistan. Sri Lanka has been knocked out of the tournament. And, there is a very slim chance that Pakistan could still make it. So after yesterday's game between New Zealand and Sri Lanka, New Zealand's net run rate has now shot up to plus 3.050. So they are the favorites to reach the semi-final when it comes to Group 2. And Pakistan are alive in the tournament, but they will have to beat Sri Lanka in their next game. So this is how the scenario is going to work. So Pakistan, at the moment, their net run rate is minus 0.461. They need to beat Sri Lanka by a margin of 70 runs or more in their clash. Is that something that Pakistan can pull off? That's one scenario. The other is that Pakistan will also need England to beat New Zealand, and England's margin of victory over New Zealand will also play a key role in Pakistan's qualification when we talk about the net run rate. So if England wins the game against the Kiwis, or if it gets washed out, if the game gets washed out, then New Zealand will qualify for the semi-final, and they are already the favorites to do so. And if England beat New Zealand by 20 runs, Pakistan will need to win against Sri Lanka by 50 runs to qualify for the semi-final. I know it's a little bit confusing, but that's how it is. It is a very, very tough equation for Pakistan at the moment. Lots of permutations and combinations up in the air. It could very well happen that England beat the Kiwis, but at the same time, that 50-run margin that is there, that 20-run margin, it may or may not happen, which then puts Pakistan's qualification on the line. So the tables are getting really interesting, but of course, all of our eyes will be on how India prepare their playing 11 today. There are a lot of questions, there are a lot of concerns. Sitanshu Kotak came out for the press conference yesterday and said that there are basically no concerns, that we're not too concerned about this loss against South Africa. South Africa played really good cricket, and at the same time, it was a one-off day for India, who has been winning in this format for so long, and especially in ICC tournaments. So they're going to look at it as something that they need to put behind them. The past is in the past. Now it's on to the next game with a new slate. And I did tell you about my observation in the practice session as well a couple of days ago, that, you know, whenever India has been in a tricky situation, or whenever India has come in from a huge loss, every single time after that particular loss or tricky situation, India goes in with a very light-hearted drill. They always have a team activity in the practice session, starting off the practice session with that team activity. And that's what I saw on match day -2 as well. It was the same back in Edgbaston when India lost in Leeds, and that was a bad loss for Team India. The same happened at the Asia Cup, where, you know, whenever there was an India versus Pakistan game, before that, the mandatory practice session always had a team building activity. After that, after the India versus USA game, when India was in Delhi, facing off Namibia next, that's when they had that team activity once again. And now you can see that after this loss that India had, they did the same thing. So it tells you that Indian team is under pressure. They might come out and say that, you know, we're not too concerned about things, we back our players and all of that, but World Cup pressure is there. No one is going to deny that. They will try to sort of downplay it, they will try to downplay the concerns, but no one is going to go out there and say, oh, we're not under pressure. The players will feel it. It's a home World Cup, it's a title defense. Let me look at some of the comments. Is there a rift in the Indian team? Haven't heard of anything like that as of yet. So, yeah. Okay. If Abhay is asking if Tilak Verma plays at 5, it is not a good idea. He did not perform well for MIIPL 25. He has to bat at 3, or no place he deserves in 11. Then you're looking at a Tilak Verma and Sanju Samson swap. But my question is, will the management want to do that? Because then when you say, and when you come out for so many press conferences and say that Tilak Verma is doing the job that we want him to do, he's executing it just as we wanted it to do, and then drop him in the 6th game of the tournament, that does not reflect well on the management. So from that perspective, I have a feeling that Tilak Verma will retain his place. That is my reporter's hunch here. My hunch is that if Sanju Samson comes in, he comes in place of Rinku Singh and not Tilak Verma. I do see Tilak Verma playing tonight. It could very well be that, you know, this time around they just watch how Tilak Verma is performing and maybe make some changes in the next game against West Indies. So, and that's a must-win game for Team India. So, yeah, Tilak Verma at number 5. There is, you know, there is no other place for him to bat at the moment, unless Sanju Samson is in the team. See, Sanju Samson, if Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma are opening, then you can send a Tilak Verma to number 3. If Ishan Kishan and Abhishek Sharma are opening, then you can't do the same thing again. Your top 3 being left-handers is a problem. So either you bat him at 5 or bat him nowhere, just like you said. Okay, Sanju was doing wicket-keeping drills. Where did it go? Sanju was doing wicket-keeping drills. What can we expect? You know, it's very difficult to gauge the playing 11 from the nets when it comes to T20 tournaments. If this was a test series, you would be able to tell who is going to make it to the playing 11 or not. But everyone does their job. By that, I mean, if there's an all-rounder, they will bowl and bat in every single net session that happens. Sanju Samson, obviously, he's not going to go through an entire tournament and only bat and not brush up his wicket-keeping skills from time to time. I don't think there is an indication of sort, but you also have to remember that he's a wicket keeper, so he will be doing wicket keeping drills regardless of whether or not he is in the team. Any update on on Rinku? Is he back in the team? I will get the update on that soon. So I will get an update on that, and I will tell you guys very soon. At the 12 p.m. show, we'll tell you that. They should play their natural game, avoid unnecessary panic, changes in mindset, rest, nobody has control. Whether they win or lose, in or out doesn't matter now, leave them alone. All right. Okay, freaking awesome is saying West Indies don't have a good record against South Africa in T20I World Cups. West Indies have won only 1 out of 5 games against South Africa in T20I World Cup. Hope it will continue, because if West Indies will win, India's chances are very slim, to be honest. Exactly. Nashili is saying I would go with Ishan, Abhishek, Sanju, Sky, Tilak. Dubey, Hardik, Aksar, Arshdeep, Bumrah, Varun. So Sanju Samson at 3. All right. It seems like a good possibility. But from the many conversations I've had with a lot of people, it seems like Sanju Samson might just open with Abhishek Sharma and Ishan Kishan comes in at number 3. Let me check if I've missed any other comments. I think, yeah, I think that's it. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this live show. We will be back, the entire team Rev Sports that is in Chennai at the moment. Me, Rohit Jaglan, and Shubhayan Chakrabarti will come back and do a live show again at 12 p.m. So don't forget to join us then. We'll have the Rinku Singh update as well, whether or not he's joined the team, but it is likely that he has done it last night. So thank you so much. We'll be back with more updates. Stay tuned.